Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this intelligent automation breakout session, driving new efficiencies through sales order processing. I'm Dan Johnson, Director of Product Marketing here at Kofax. Joining me today is Rick Malik from Lakeshore Learning. Rick, thanks for joining us today. Why don't you take a couple minutes to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Lakeshore Learning.
Thank you, Dan. My name is Rick Malik. I work at Lakeshore Learning Materials. I'm VP of Technology there. Lakeshore is a unique organization in that we value our culture. Culture is the most important thing for us. Our main business is supplying products to schools and educational material. We basically act as supplemental. We don't act as curriculum. Our main customers are schools, school districts, and then at the same time, we also supply to end customers, teachers, parents, and we have 50, 60 retail stores out in the market. We have a pretty big web presence. So that's Lakeshore.
All right, thank you. So let's get started. So you mentioned that a lot of your customers are school districts. So tell us a little bit about some of the unique challenges that you found in serving that type of customer.
So schools and school districts, generally, their technologies are a little bit behind the 8 ball. They've come a long way, but for the most part, they don't invest a lot in technology. Due to that, we get a number of orders that come in through email, through fax, and if you believe it, even snail mail. That creates a lot of challenges for our order team in how they process those orders. So at the same time, schools also have unique challenges in terms of accepting delivery. So if they're setting up new classrooms, sometimes schools are in residential areas. Sometimes it's hard to get a big truck there. If you think about a state like New York, their schools are in really tight areas where trucks may have to park, I don't know, half a block away or half a mile away. They might have to go through a lift gate. So we have a lot of different challenges associated to what our customer needs are. In order to serve those challenges, we have a unique ordering process that relies on a combination of notes that have been kind of built up over the last 15, 20 years. So when a order it comes through, and this may be, $50,000, $100,000 order with hundreds of lines on it, these customers may have unique requirements like we can only accept delivery on Thursday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Or you need to check with the administrator in the front office in room 25, or please check with someone special at Lakeshore who's dealt with this customer in the past because a year ago they had a problem. So all of those things create challenges for us at Lakeshore in order to serve our customers.
Okay. So there's a lot going on there, from the order right through to delivery. So as you approached this project to automate this process, what were some of your goals going into this?
So our main goal in this project was really to automate the front side of these orders that come through. Now, again, we definitely have a big web presence. We have a number of what we call ePro sites, which are electronic customer ordering sites. And we also get a number of phone calls for orders. Now, those obviously come through either electronically or through the phone. But for the orders that are coming through snail mail, through email, or through fax, we had a process that involved a lot of manual entry and a lot of validation. So again, thinking back to those big orders that have hundreds of lines on them, we have a person who takes the piece of paper printed out from a fax or an email or gotten from a snail mail, and then starts keying in this order into our legacy system, into our ERP system. Once this order is now keyed in, then it goes through a process where it needs to be validated. So now we have one person who has entered it. Next person is validating that all the items, all the quantities, all the prices are entered in properly. Then we would have another process that would make sure that the customers entered properly and all the customer information. Then we need to check all those special notes that I talked about earlier. So we had this very involved process for how an order would flow through the system. Our goal was really to simplify that process and also to make the initial step of manual entry go away. So we looked at KTA's software solution in order for us to eliminate all the manual entry associated with that and simplify the process into just one step, which was validating the order that came through the system and that it picked up all the information accurately.
Okay, great, thanks. So when you look at that, you're talking about the process, the information is itself, and what about the people who are involved in the process?
Yeah, so we now again, you can imagine how large of an order team we need to have to process all of these orders that are coming through the system with all this manual entry. So our goal, at the same time, our business is scaling up. Our goal was to not reduce headcount, but be able to sustain the volume that we were getting without additional hiring as we continued to grow. So we did a number of data analysis on how long it takes for us to process an order on the front side, the entry, the validation, the re-entry, the revalidation, and all the checking that happens. And we came to approximately between 25 and 30 minutes it took to process an order. We wanted to reduce how long it took to process that order in order to, one, be able to sustain the growing business and sustain the additional orders and volume that we would anticipate. And also at the same time, to reduce the time it took for that order to flow through our system so that customers could get their product faster.
Great. And I think you made a really good point there when you mentioned that your goal wasn't to eliminate headcount. I think a lot of people, they hear automation, they think right away you're taking people's jobs away. But it sounds like your goal was, in fact, to use those people more effectively, and now use your staff to grow your business and be able to keep up with your growing business.
Yeah, that's very accurate. At Lakeshore, we pride ourselves on not eliminating people. We may move people around, we may try and get efficiencies in people's jobs, and we may try and grow people in order to do a more productive work, but we do not eliminate people. We try and hire good people at the same time of keeping jobs. We don't try and eliminate jobs.
That's great to hear. So I'm sure everybody is interested in knowing, what kind of results did you see from this? What kind of improvements did you see in your process and in the time it took you to do things? And tell us about the success of this project.
Yeah, so it's been wildly successful. We reduced the time that it takes to process an order in half. And that was in the first couple months of going live. So that was without the team feeling very comfortable in the system, right? Everyone knows in large projects that the change is always hard. So learning a new system takes time, getting comfortable in a new system takes time. But right out of the gate, just by basically going live, we were able to cut the time to process an order down to 10 to 15 minutes instead of 25 to 30. So that in and of itself was amazing. Now, we've also learned through this process of even more efficiencies that we can do. So we're working on a phase 2 of this project right now to gain even more efficiencies, things that we've learned from the first about 6 months of being live, just because it's been providing wildly successful results.
That's great. Good to hear that. So let's go back, take a step back from this, the implementation, and look at your selection process. Why did you choose Kofax for this particular project? How did you think we could help you out?
So we, about 3 years ago, we implemented MediaSflow for our AP automation. MediaSflow partnered with ReadSoft Online, which is a Kofax tool, in order to basically read the invoices that vendors would send us, or for any of our contracts, any of the vendors that we have to pay. We also had a very, very manual process for doing that. So through MediaSflow and ReadSoft Online, we were able to learn that, there's a lot of savings here, basically similar to what I was talking about with the sales order automation. So when we started to think about how we would solve this problem with for the order team, we decided to look at a few different tools. Obviously, Kofax's product was there, and then there were a few other companies that we looked at too. Some of those were more specific to the sales order processing, where obviously Kofax's product is a little bit more generic, right? Workflow, OCR, read document, figure out what to do with it, and then you can be a little bit more flexible in how you want to apply your business rules. That flexibility really kind of, it caught our eye. As we went through our unique process for doing orders, and again, we talked about it a little bit before, we've got some weird requirements that our customers kind of put on us. So the flexibility of Kofax's software really stood out to me, and it really put a bright light on the selection process for me. Some of the other software solutions were kind of built out of the gate, and they solved maybe 70-75%. And I was a little bit nervous about how we were going to get that other 25% through customization, whereas Kofax's software was just configurable, and we were able to make it work and fit our business needs.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, we're very glad to have you come in today and tell us the story. We're thrilled with the results that you've seen, what you've been able to achieve in your process. And we should say, with the help of a Kofax partner, ImageTech, who helped you out through this process. And so you've seen great results, and we've been happy to help along the way. And we really thank you for coming here today and sharing your story with us.
Of course, anytime. I'm happy to share. Obviously, we are very thrilled with the results, and ImageTech was wonderful through this process. We've actually engaged them for phase 2 as well, because of how pleased we were with the work that they did. And yeah, it's great. I'm happy to share. If anybody has any questions in the future, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to share our experience. I'm happy to share any lessons learned. But yeah, we've been wildly happy and wildly successful. This project's been for us.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dan.
So we've seen, a great example here of how TotalAgility can transform a significant business process, such as sales order processing. What some people might not be aware of is how quickly you can get started with TotalAgility on your own transformation projects. And one example of that is through our quick apps. And so now we're going to take a look at one of these, which is Quick Workflows, and see how its low-code capabilities can help you jumpstart your own project. Let's take a look.
Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of TotalAgility Quick Workflow. My name is Des McCafferty, a Senior Sales Engineer at Kofax. In this session, I'm delighted to show you the low-code capabilities of a very significant TotalAgility feature called Quick Workflow. This feature is a member of a much larger set of low-code features known as Quick Apps, which are designed for the less technical citizen developers to enable them to rapidly design, automate, and transform business-critical workflows. With this feature, all users, regardless of their technical proficiency, can quickly automate workflows, meet immediate business needs, and drive rapid ROI. To allow me to illustrate the Quick Workflow capabilities, I will build a loan application process during this session. The workflow I will build begins with importing a loan application document that would typically be received from the customer. And once imported, TotalAgility will automatically determine what type the document is by running machine learning based classification and automatically extracting key information such as the applicant name and loan amount. We don't want to approve every loan in this process, of course, so TotalAgility will then run a series of business rules before a number of credit checks are performed against the loan applicant. And finally, the loan details can be approved by an approver towards the end of the process. Let's see how a citizen developer can build this process using a low-code approach. Starting at the home page, I begin by choosing to build a new workflow. The user-friendly navigation bar makes this whole exercise extremely intuitive. First, I get to specify a name for my workflow plus an expected duration SLA. I also get to specify obvious data items that will be used in our workflow, such as the age of the applicant. And when I have just about specified all data, I can then move on to the next step in the wizard, allowing me to actually start building the workflow itself. As a citizen developer, it's important that I only get presented with a feature suitable to my own skill set. It's extremely easy to add the next step in the process by clicking on the plus icon. And I may not be skilled enough to configure the loan document to be classified and extracted. However, that does not limit me here, as I'm able to reuse an existing process that has already been configured by a more skilled colleague to automatically recognize the imported loan document and also extract key information such as the applicant name and amount. As we mentioned earlier, of course, we don't want all loans to be approved by this process. So next, I can easily add an existing business rule, which will automatically determine if the loan should be approved based on criteria such as whether we have knowledge already of this customer and the loan amount. That's all great, you might say, but what if I am a citizen developer and I need to integrate to another system? Well, that's covered here also. Without having any knowledge of third-party system APIs, I am still able to implement a credit check to be performed on the loan applicant by adding a low-code integration using what's called a custom service. This is another type of asset that can be reused, having been created previously by a more technical user. Having added an approval step and an end step in order to complete our workflow, our work is pretty much done here. When I'm ready, I can then publish the workflow in a single click, making our new quick workflow now available to end users. Up till now, we focused on the design experience, but another rapid automation feature of quick workflow is the auto generation of a runtime user interface, allowing end users to initiate new loan applications or even action pending loan approval requests. The UI is extremely customizable, allowing you to adapt your own look and feel and add your own UI controls. To conclude, Quick Workflow is one of many low-code quick apps available in TotalAgility. These apps significantly empower citizen developers to better meet business needs with rapid automation, thereby shortening your journey to ROI. These benefits are accelerated even further when utilized on Kofax TotalAgility Cloud. I would like to thank you for spending the time reviewing this demonstration. Being applicable to a wide range of use cases, TotalAgility offers many ways for customers to accelerate deployments. Please feel free to check out further intelligent automation videos on the Kofax Demo Center.
Okay, so hopefully that demo helped you understand better exactly how you can get started on your own transformation projects quickly and easily. I want to thank Rick Malik again for joining us here today in this session. And Rick, best of luck to you on your future TotalAgility projects as well.
Thank you, Dan. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to answer any questions if there's any additional ones, like I said. But again, thank you again, and we appreciate the partnership.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us today.